Anybody gets in my face, I'm knocking them out.
Come on, John. Best
I mean what I say. I don't care. I mean what I say.
Come on, man.
I mean what I say.
I'm not built for this heat. It's 26 degrees, 20 to 10 at night.
The weather is absolutely lovely today, isn't it?
It is. Perfect for a day out.
I wonder if people in 2026 will be such pussies about the weather.
Probably.
I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. I'm done.
What?
I can't do any more. I can't.
You'll be alright,
I
Jen.
can't go through any
No,
more.
you'll be alright, you'll be alright.
Oh, it's too warm for me. Oh, it's warm. I like it warm, but I don't like it this warm. It's too warm. You know, there's warm and there's warm. Oh, I'm sweating cobs.
Listen, it's 34 degrees, my hair's stuck to my head, so back off, no. Oh, go away, both, fuck off, eh?
And mirth. Mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun. The toughest bird.
Are you drinking a hot drink? It's 35 degrees today. So not everyone knows this, but you're actually supposed to drink really hot drinks in hot weather because what it does is it cools the body down. Fuck off.
About the UK heatwave and how I'm absolutely too hot, and my comment section for the first time in about 6 months was flooded with Americans. Now, I used to be overrun by the Americans in my comment section, and a lot of you were really nice. However, yesterday's comment section is full of, oh my god, you think 30 degrees is hot, you should try come over to Florida, you should try come over to Arizona, you wouldn't survive. Oh my god, unless you've experienced a UK heatwave, you are not actually eligible to speak upon the topic, because the UK heat is unfathomable. Everyone going, this is why you should have air conditioning. No, you should have air conditioning. 99.
Welcome to Blighty Blighted, your fairly regular reminder that Britain was built for drizzle, overcast skies and mild disappointment, not 40 degrees and the surface of the sun. Good grief. The heat. The absolute heat. Now I remember hot summers. We all do. But these temperatures? This is something else entirely. The roads are melting. The railways are struggling. Offices feel like greenhouses. Bedrooms feel like saunas. And half the country looks like it's been slow roasted. Britain's infrastructure takes one look at 40 degrees and immediately starts filing for retirement.
Put your hot water bottle in the freezer and thank me later in this heat wave. Whilst it currently feels like 100 degrees in England at the minute, it's my favourite time to remind you about my favourite hack. So all you need is a hot water bottle. Pop cold water in the hot water bottle, pop it in the freezer till it's fully frozen. The longer you can freeze it for, the better. You can even pop back on the hot water bottle cover. Take it to bed with you. It will last about 5-6 hours if it's been frozen for long enough. It is the best thing ever. It keeps you cool. Take it in a car with you if you've got if your aircon's not that good as well. The best hack you'll ever have. The only thing is, don't reuse it again as a hot water bottle because it can break the rubber, but use it as a cold water bottle every time we have a heat wave.
British people are so dramatic. It's not even that hot. Okay, I dare you to survive in a 35-degree heat wave with no air conditioning. Yep. Turn off your air conditioning unit and also live in a bricked house. It is okay for you to say that you'd be able to survive whilst you're sat in your wooden house that barely withstands any weather, which also has air conditioning in it, by the way. So yes, I would love you to experience a bricked house with no air conditioning and 35-degree heat. And the only thing that keeps you cool is a fan that is circulating the heat around the room. And we all have to still survive like nothing bad is happening. So I suggest if you are saying anything about British people barely handling the heat, turn off their air conditioning unit. Go inside a bricked building, okay, with 35-degree heat. That is what I implore you to do before you start talking about British people and their ability to handle the heat. All right?
I can't deal with this shit. Please make it stop. Please. I can't breathe. There's no air. Please, God, I'm begging you, please. Make it stop.
Yesterday I was one step down from heat stroke. Why? Because the UK is like an air fryer. I had heat exhaustion. Why? Because I'm ADHD and autistic and I still need a blanket for starters. Second of all, my daughter's school, it was optional to pick the kids up at 12, so obviously the whole world decided to turn up and pick up their kids. We were all outside and the poor teachers ferrying around, walking through the fire to get our kids, to bring them down with walkie-talkies. They were sweating more than the river flipping Thames. I felt so sorry for them, but just tell the kids to go. Just other schools are closing. My daughter's school is just like, well, you can if you like. The poor teachers, literally, this lady looked like she had jumped in a pool. That's how drenched she was. Because they're having to run up and down from reception all the way to year 6 to get people's kids with walkie-talkies. Just let them go. And in the UK, none of the houses have AC. My cars don't have AC, so I had the windows open, like hoping something was going to happen. Nothing happened. It was just it was literally like someone had a hot hairdryer in my face continuously.
At primary school, I went through my mum and dad's cupboards and removed everything that contains CFCs. I was made aware that by me doing that, I'd single-handedly saved the world. Ooh, and which one's my head? I was led to believe I had solved global warming. It was nice and cool up there, you know. And yet here I am, baking in my own filth. Like a potato.
I'm just on the train in London during a heat wave, and they have reduced services because of the heat, because it's getting to 33, 34 this week. So the next 2 days there actually are less trains, and they're advising you not to travel unless it's completely essential. And as an Australian, also schools are finishing at 1:30 because it's too hot in the afternoons. Can you imagine if at home in Australia we got sent home at a half day or couldn't get to and from work because it was over 30 degrees? My God, the whole economy would shut down.
Europe showing how it just isn't built for this heat. France just hit a record temperature of 29.8 degrees Celsius or 85.6 degrees Fahrenheit, but one town, Pisos, hit 44 degrees Celsius, 111 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's only going to get hotter this week. So Europe is the planet's fastest warming continent. It is heating at around 2 to 3 times the global average, and it's completely unprepared. If you're in Europe, you don't need me to tell you about the infrastructure. So we've got rail lines buckling, rail companies saying don't travel later this week, power cables are breaking, and thousands are dying. So in France, 40 people have drowned trying to cool down. 3 elderly people also lost their lives in this heat in Bordeaux, and 2 children aged 2 and 4 found dead in a hot car, and that was in southern France on Tuesday.
Not one to complain about the weather, but I feel like I'm getting a fucking insta-tan. Honestly, fucking insta-tan. This isn't good because I'm fair-skinned. I literally walk out my fucking front door, I feel like I'm fucking like a bit of toast. Fuck me. Stay safe out there, guys, and remember, don't fucking keep any animals in cars. Any animals in cars. That's a big one as well when it's warm. But look after yourselves, your friends, your family and your loved ones. Remember, treat those how you wish to be treated. Unless you're fucking boiling on here, and fucking have a drink. Fuck. Can I just say though, I was thinking about getting my thong on. So if anyone wants to lend me a thong, I'm all up for thonging. Yeah, get your thongs out. What could go wrong when you're wearing a thong?
As Roy Williams once said, it's hot, it's damn hot. But listen, if you don't want to be hot tonight, use this simple trick involving a duvet, a fan, and maybe a dog, you don't need the dog, to make your room cool to sleep in no matter the weather outside, using a simple hack using nothing more than your duvet cover and your fan to make a perfect, tranquil, cool little cave to sleep in for the night. Check this out. Turn it on. Lift it up. Get inside. Lift it up with your foot for a second. And then let nature take course. Now the thing is, you end up in a massive balloon and it will stay open while you're in it because naturally your body's covering it up. If it doesn't, you can use a stick, a broom handle, whatever, just to attach it to the front of your fan. But the wind flow in here is circular, and it means that rather than the hot muggy air, you're in a constant fresh breeze that takes even a weak fan and makes it stronger. Kids love it. Who doesn't love a play tent? And the fun part is it stays up the whole time where you sleep all night until eventually you get out. And sometimes it collapses, sometimes it doesn't. So my name's Icarus. This is what I recommend. I have heart issues, blood pressure, etc. And to me, even the dog loves it. Having this is a great way to make sure that through the hot weather, you don't struggle. Look after yourself, have fun, and if you've got a fan in your kids' room, don't forget to do this in their room too. They'll thank you for it. Get out, dog. Have a great day. Icarus out.
British people during the heat wave is something to be studied, because tell me why. I tell my British boyfriend that I am of heat. I'm about to get a freaking heat stroke. I am parked outside of my house with my 2 dogs because I cannot take the heat in the house. Also, I decided that today was going to be the day that I was going to go for a walk, clean the house. Like, I am going through it. And tell me why I tell this guy that I'm going to go get an air conditioning for the house, and he's like, toughen it up. Toughen it up? Bitch, I'll toughen it up when like something real happens and I don't have any option to fix the situation. But why would I toughen it up when I can go get a portable AC and go horizontal in my bedroom, feel crisp as a cucumber? I do not understand that. But for British people, it is imperative to be tough. They don't understand that you can actually have comfort. For them, it's more of a matter of being strong enough to go through it. And as someone who moved from Florida, lastly to the UK, I am used to having AC when the weather is like this. Like this and no AC is something that I do not understand. Like, there are people putting chunks of ice in foam coolers with pipes coming out and a fan behind to blow cold air into their bedroom. All of that to not get an aircon. They do everything they can to not get an air conditioning, but everybody complains about the same heat during the summer in the UK. Make that make sense.
Fuck this heat, like actually fuck this heat. It's making me want to peel the actual skin off my body, but realise that that's not fucking possible, so I've just stripped down to a quite literally bare minimum, and I'm still so fucking hot and boiling. I genuinely thought last heat wave was the worst. I was like, can't possibly get any worse than that. But no, somehow we've outdone ourselves. Red alert across the whole fucking UK. Red. Please collect your children from school. Schools are shutting down. Do you think I can get out of work early? Do you think that any of us get to go and leave work early? You know, because our kids get to leave school early, because heaven forbid they can't cool them down enough because it's so fucking hot here. Do you think we get to leave work early? No. We're expected to carry on working, you know, in these conditions. I reckon I could stand out in my kids' paddling pool right now, give it an hour, tops. That shit will be filled with all my sweat. Come bathe in the sweat of your own mother. I mean, save on the water bill. Not the fucking point though. The point is, I'm sweating and I feel gross and I'm hot and I can't cool down and my body is fucking trying. Clearly, it's like sweat. Come on, cool yourself fucking down, Lottie. And I can't. I fucking can't. And the forecast is getting worse. Just to let you know, in case you hadn't checked your weather app, if you think today's bad, fucking look tomorrow, it's going to be even fucking hotter. And I genuinely, at this point, I don't know how are we going to get through it? For those of you that cope well, like, I envy you. I really envy you. If you could send your positivity and all those good positive vibes over my way, I would be so grateful, because right now, I just don't know what to do anymore. Yesterday, I was swimming in my kids' paddling pool. There's probably piss in there. And I couldn't even give a fucking shit. I couldn't even care less. I was like, oh, glorious, pissy water. I don't care. It was cooling me down. And you know what? That's a level of low. That's a level of low I really hope none of you have to stoop to. I will just be here, probably, you know, defrosting my entire freezer. But you know, oh, it's so wonderful. Oh my God, this is amazing. Okay, highly recommend. All go to your freezers and just fuck all the shit inside it. That's just going to be picky bits for dinner, because I'm not going to cook. So I'm just going to sit here for the next 2 hours, see what's defrosted, put it on a plate and hope the kids eat it for dinner. Is that acceptable? Is that bad parenting? I'm sorry, okay? It's fucking hot. I feel like, as a parent, these are the days where you just go, what are we gonna get? We're gonna have, oh, an ice pack for dinner. What?
to be fair, oh, yes! Oh, I've scored! I can't believe I got! Yay! Right, I'm sorted. This is me for the rest of the afternoon. Peace out.
Put a bottle on your fan and you won't believe the results. A lady taught me this tip, and today I'm going to show it to you. This is a very easy trick, but not many people know about it, and that's why I'm going to show you in this video. To begin with, we'll need 2 plastic bottles like this one. Now, with the help of an object, we're going to cut off the bottom of the bottles. This is how I'm doing it. Once that's done, we'll wash the bottles very well. Then, with the help of a hot wrench, we'll make several small holes in this part. Do it patiently and carefully, and this is how it should look. Next, we'll need some plastic ties, and then we'll put them through the holes we've made. This is how I'm doing it. Once that's done, just turn the fan over, and we'll attach the bottle to this part with the help of the plastic ties. It should look like this, and do the same process with the other bottle. Now, with the scissors, you can cut off the excess clamp, and it will look like this. And to finish, just put a few ice cubes inside the bottle. Then just turn on your fan and enjoy your homemade air conditioning. Is that right? The little holes in the bottles help to ventilate the cold air, which is wonderful, especially in this hot weather. It's very important to leave the bottles upside down. That way, whenever water accumulates, you can easily remove it and then add more ice. This is a wonderful idea for cooling off in the heat. As well as being easy to make, you'll spend practically nothing. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye, and see you in the next video.
Yesterday I blamed immigrants for the heatwave, saying it was all part of a master plan to make British people uncomfortable and leave the UK so that immigrants can colonise it and have it for themselves under Shakira law. Unfortunately, a lot of people didn't realise that I was joking. That was me trying to be funny. Maybe not very successfully. I've had quite a few DMs being like, you're racist and you're stupid, which would be absolutely true, if I believed that. But just to clarify, I don't. I made it up. What concerns me the most, though, is the fact that me, looking like this, having beliefs like that, is believable. That's very embarrassing. I was half expecting GB News to slide into my DMs after that, to be honest. Unfortunately, a lot of British gammon do believe in the whole replacement theory. Look it up. They actually believe that immigrants are deliberately trying to replace white skin, that people of colour are all trying to erase whiteness. To me, the concept of that is just so hilarious, because that's not a thing that people of colour do. That's a thing that white people do. We did it in Australia, we did it in Canada, we did it in New Zealand. Like, that is projection at its finest. No culture has ever tried to erase whiteness, that's not a thing. But we, white people, have tried to erase other cultures. So to recap, that was satire. Having a very dry sense of humour is probably the most British thing about me. Immigrants, I love you. I'm sorry if you thought for a second that I didn't. And on behalf of white/slightly pink tinged people everywhere, I apologise that you have to put up with the gammon's nonsense.
London is cooking. I knew this was going to happen. The sun comes out, we get it for a week, a year. And obviously the news tries scaremongering people. You know, they talk to us like we're stupid. They talk to us like we're thick. Do they not realise that when it's warm, people will get out the paddling pools, they're going to top the freezer up with their ice pops, put the sun cream on, put the kids' hats on, they'll make sure they don't walk the dogs, you know? We're not stupid. It's going to rise, you know, it's catastrophe. Look at London is cooking a world closer to catastrophe up onto your head. What the fuck are you talking? It's called summer. Get a Solero and shut the fuck up, will you? Because it's really annoying every single year. Great Britain completely red. Scare people like that. We're not stupid. We know what we're doing. Yes, it is warm. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, people can go and buy a fan. Like I said, they can go and top the freezer up. They're not stupid. Why do we get treated like we're stupid? It's summer. By the time people have read that, it'll be raining again. well, it is. It's going to be a thunderstorm on Thursday. We've got 3 days this week, and you're panicking people doing that. I went to Argos last night buying something. I seen loads of people buying fans. They're not stupid, these people. Let us enjoy our summer. And how about give us tips on things, how to cool down instead of putting things out like that. Oh, it's 37 degree heat out there. It's boiling. I'm just going to go out without a t-shirt and no sun cream on. My goodness me, people. We know what we're doing, don't we? We know what we're doing. Drink plenty of water. Stay in the shade. You know, if it's too hot, don't go out. You know, don't walk your dogs, hats, you know. Goodness me. Just enjoy your summer. That's all I would say. If that was the news, enjoy it while it's here. And have some water. And put a hat on. Some sun cream. Goodness, catastrophe. Fuck me.
Oh, my. I give up. Honestly, I give up. What is the point? So apparently, the hotter it got, the worse our solar panels worked, and the grid told gas plants to pick up the slack. So we've spent years being told solar and wind are the future, that they'll keep the lights on and cut the bills. Then the sun actually properly comes out near 40 degrees. What happens? The grid operator puts out a power warning and tells gas stations to fire up. You can't make this nonsense up. Here's the bit nobody mentions when they're selling you the green dream. Solar panels do not like the heat. They like light, but heat actually drags them down. Once a panel gets hotter than 25 degrees, its efficiency starts dropping for every extra degree. So on the hottest days, the exact days everyone's blasting the air conditioning, the panels are working worse, not better. So demand goes up, solar drops, wind was low, and France, which we lean on for imports, had to switch off a nuclear power plant because the river water was too warm to cool the reactors. Their power coming our way dropped by half. So who saved the day? Gas. That's right, good old gas. Generation jumped from around 8 gigawatts in the afternoon to more than 17 overnight. By Wednesday morning, more than half the country's power was coming from gas. Solar, less than 10% on a roasting hot sunny day. Now, I'm not saying renewables are useless. I'm saying we've been sold a story that does not match the small print. We've been told this stuff is reliable, and then the moment the weather gets extreme in either direction, freezing in winter or baking in the summer, the same thing happens. We quietly reach for the gas and nobody pays attention. And here's where it hits your pocket. When solar and wind drop and gas has to carry the load, prices climb. Wholesale power hit over £248 a megawatt hour at peak, up more than 75% on the same time the week before. That's not an abstract number. It feeds through to what you're going to pay. And the grid pulled through this time. The warning got withdrawn, supply held. Fine, but that's not the point. The point is we keep being promised a system that can handle anything, and it keeps needing the old reliable backup it's supposed to be replacing. And let's not forget where all our solar came from, because it certainly wasn't built in this country, was it? Jesus.
It's 32 degrees, which means Britain has entered its annual 3-day period of complete societal collapse. The roads are melting, the trains are apologizing for existing, office workers are staring blankly into the middle distance like survivors of a maritime disaster, and every conversation in the country now begins with, "Hot enough for you?" As though we've all been recruited into some national weather cult. Now, I'm Canadian, where 32 degrees is generally considered an excuse to find a lake, a barbecue, and a cooler full of beer. The British experiences it differently because Britain wasn't built for heat. Britain was built by people who looked at sunshine and assumed it was a clerical error. The houses trap heat, the trains trap heat, the pubs trap heat. The only thing that doesn't trap heat is a British man over 50 who still insists on wearing jeans and drinking hot tea while visibly sweating through his own eyebrows. And yet, here I am, just been on a train to London to meet a mate for a few pints. Because despite everything, the heat, the delays, the overcrowded trains, the smell of 50 strangers slowly cooking together in a metal tube, the British still understand one important thing. Some problems are best solved in a pub. Not fixed, not resolved, not even improved. just discussed repeatedly over increasingly cold beer until everybody agrees the weather is somebody else's fault. And honestly, I can't think of a more civilized response to 32 degrees than that.
Whenever the UK has some kind of heat wave or extreme hot weather, you always get people saying things like, oh, British people can't handle the heat, they're not prepared, things like that. Without knowing that clearly 30 plus degrees in the UK and 30 plus degrees in warmer climates like the Mediterranean are not the same. I mean, look, my family come from the Caribbean islands, right? And this weather is normal every single day. But the houses there and the houses in places like the Mediterranean are more suited for heat. They're more open. They're designed to let air flow through freely, okay? They're not designed like how homes are in the UK, in which it is designed to keep heat inside the home, okay? That would explain why it feels like an absolute sauna in your home. In a lot of these places as well that are used to this kind of weather, they have something which is very valuable, okay? Two things. First of all, they have AC, first of all, in a lot of places to keep things cool. And second of all, they have a natural breeze outside, you see? In these holiday destinations that people love to go to, when it's hot, a lot of the times you have a cold breeze coming in from the sea or the ocean to cool things down, okay? So look, I'm not saying that the UK can't deal with the weather better. I'm just saying I understand why the infrastructure doesn't cope very well, you see? All right, and I'm not going to blame it on climate change, all right? I'm already seeing people saying things like that. I'm not saying climate change is not happening. I just don't believe it's happening the way that we're being told. But look, enjoy the sunshine while it lasts, all right?
Observations on a sunny day. So here we are, yet again, another hot day. However, I do believe that it is going to be very short term and it will soon be over with. I'm not wishing the summer away. Actually, no, I am wishing the summer away because I actually cannot stand it. It's just too hot. That's all I can say. I'm stuck behind a bus. But that's okay, we're not going to worry about that. We've got good music, we've got air conditioning. When the air conditioning kicks in. If you have leather seats in your car, then you'll understand that when it's hot, your seat gets very, very hot. That's far too hot for a redhead in disguise. So I have a very busy day today. I have a 6-client day. It's all nails today, which is absolutely fine. And it's quite nice for a Wednesday. Sometimes Wednesdays can be a bit half and half, but we're okay. This is fine. Mum is still in hospital, but they are hoping to get her home either today or tomorrow. She has narrowing of her arteries on the side of her head. So, well, vessels. So is he definitely turning left? Okay, right. Cyclists. Right. Why does the summer bring out all the cyclists? They're okay if they just stick to the left-hand side. Everybody's going to hate me for making that comment. I can't ride a bike, so there we go. See, what people don't understand is I've got to get the car up onto the curb. Thank you very much. I hate doing that in front of people. Why do we have to have so many red warnings on the weather? Because I don't understand why we need to be told that it's summertime and that the sun is very hot. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Sorry this video was a bit random, but it's what happens when you're driving. But enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the sunshine. It will soon be autumn to all my followers that absolutely hate this weather. Take care, and thank you for joining me on that rather short journey.
I keep seeing things relating to this. And we all had a wonderful summer and survived. Well, first thing, the reason that we remember that summer was it was unusual, and isolated and unusual weather events have always happened. But then we come down to the fact, oh, we all had a great summer. No, we didn't. And I remember it. I just had my hair cut short for the first time ever, and I was actually quite ill. Millions of tons of grain, because the harvest failed, taps went dry. I remember the queues for the standpipes, and every day 250 people died from heat. So we didn't all survive. Now, the reason that we then kind of let things go fallow is because we understood then it was an isolated event. But the problem we've got is people posting things like that know what they are doing. They are trying to normalise the increasingly heating planet that we are living in by saying it's completely normal and that there is nothing we can do to stop it. And of course there is, although we're a bit late in the there has always been, this was always avoidable. We knew this was going to happen 25 years ago, but nobody did anything. So if you're entitled to, you're thinking a bit like this, just remember that this idea that this is all completely normal is an idea that's pushed by greedy men, very greedy men, who think that their wealth will insulate them from what's happening, because there will be serious consequences. Famine will be one of them for a start. And they will all retreat into their bunkers and they think they will survive, and they won't be taking you with them. So there's more of us than there is of them. The only thing that makes me feel slightly happier is that I doubt they will survive it. They might retreat into their bunkers, but they will have to take some fairly serious security with them. And don't you think that the security will work out very quickly when everything's shut down, that they would survive a lot longer without the useless parasites in the bunker?
So I posted a video about how I find it highly questionable to ride your horses during the day in this UK heatwave right now. And somehow my video has reached the Americans, who despite the geotagging and the hashtagging with UK heatwave have assumed that I'm referring to them, as per usual. The amount of people justifying that it's absolutely fine to ride your horse between 35 to 40 degrees Celsius has been mind-boggling, to say the least. The amount of controversy it has sparked to say that you shouldn't ride your horse in this heat. I'm quite surprised. I thought it was common, knowledge that horses do not cope very well with heat, but apparently it's not. People actually don't seem to understand how badly horses cope with heat, because they actually have high mass to body surface ratio, which means that they're really struggling to cool themselves down even through respiration. And it's 3 times harder for them to cool down than it is for humans. They're really struggling, and they run very hot because they're so bulky and muscular. And if you cannot, ride them early mornings or when it's cool again at night, then I think you should just, maybe walk them, then give them a cold bath and call it a day. And it's, how many days do we get like this in the UK anyway? It's like maybe 7 days a year where we get temperatures in this extreme. And the amount of people saying, oh no, my horse will get unfit or chubby in these 5 days of not working them, the usual pensum. Why does your horse get chubby so quickly? What are you feeding them? People say, your horse is chubby. It's not chubby from those 5 days. It's chubby because she had 6 months off because of navicular disease. So yeah, if you leave your horse and don't exercise, of course it will get chubby, but not because of those 5 days. Anyway, I hope you're all staying cool in this heat. I hope most people have the common sense to not ride their horses. There's a reason they had to cancel all the shows and even limit transport to a degree because of the heat. So they're not just making this up. I'm not just making this up. But please, for the love of God, keep your horses cool, because they have a really, really, really rubbish cooling system. But enjoy the heat, stay hydrated, and keep your horses hydrated.
People on this app mocking British people because they are complaining about the heat wave. You clearly have no idea how 35 degrees feels here. You have no idea. And if you think I don't know bowl, I know bowl. Yeah, because clearly I'm not British. I am Italian. I live in UK and I was born and raised in south of Italy. I know hot weather, I know summer, but 35 degrees here does not feel like 35 degrees in south of Italy or Spain or Greece or Turkey. It doesn't. 35 degrees here feels like hell. It's unbreathable, it's humid, it's sticky, it's unbearable. And I am lucky enough because I'm currently on annual leave, and I booked these few days of annual leave months ago. I had no idea that a heat wave was going to be in these particular days, and I had to buy this. Yeah, I had to buy this to cope because it's too hot. I woke up at 3 a.m. last night because I wasn't able to breathe. The houses here are built to keep the heat inside because, of course, UK should be a cold country, cold weather. The houses here are built with the red bricks. Do you know for what we use the red bricks in south of Italy? Pizza oven. Pizza oven. They use the red bricks to build the houses, of course, because UK should be a cold country. To keep the heat inside, there is carpet in the bedrooms. Carpet to keep the heat inside. And during a heat wave is unbearable. So do not mock British people if they are complaining about the heat wave, because you clearly have no idea what it feels. A heat wave, 36, 35, 37 degrees here. You have no idea. And I repeat, I was born and raised in south of Italy. I know what hot weather means. And this is not normal. This is not normal because I moved to UK 13 years ago, and trust me, summers were completely different. And if you're still saying that climate change is not real, dude, open a fucking book. Go on Google, do a little bit of research, because 35 degrees in June in UK, it's not normal. Climate change is very much real. And again, do not judge British people complaining about the heat, because you clearly have no idea how it feels 35 degrees in UK.
Mad Dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun. One of the great songs by Noel Coward, with my favourite line: though the English are feet, they're quite impervious to heat. Well, sadly, this seems no longer to be the case. Instead of being a country made up of people with a bit of backbone, who are able to get on with life, who don't let little obstacles get in their way, who, when disaster befalls them, say, I think I'll go out now, I'll be some time, do things stoically and boldly and carry on regardless, we're now so wet that a little warm weather for a day or two seems to bring the country to a grinding halt. The railways slow down, schools close, red warnings are issued by the Meteorological Office. We become a nation of namby-pambies. And this all ties in with the approach governments increasingly take to nanny us. As I've said many times before, I'm all in favour of nanny, but not the nanny state. And what's going on now is part of the infantilizing of the population that makes it easier for governments to tell them what to do in other circumstances. It's all part of the same process. You have to be told to drink water. It seems to me it's completely obvious that you should drink water in this hot weather. But if you want to have a pint of beer or a pint of cider or a glass of Pimm's, why not have that too? As long as you're sensible, you don't need to be nagged and nannied. And most people are aware of this. It's not to say there aren't some frail people who may find the heat overwhelming, but they'll be frail anyway, and they will need looking after anyway. The heat is an added risk for people who already, or ought to already, to be being looked after by their friends, by their family, and by those parts of the state, the healthcare system, that take care of people. But you don't need to put this message out to all and sundry. Because once the government decides it can warn you that the weather may be a bit hot, and that therefore you should walk a little bit more slowly, or you should drink more water, or you should only sleep under one sheet, or whatever it is, then of course they can tell you what to watch on telly. They can say, well, we think it's good for you that YouTube should promote wholesome, good news, news from approved sources, news from the Ministry of Propaganda, as we're being told they're going to do to promote the BBC, Channel 4 and ITV. And this is in fact utterly outrageous. We should be furious about this, because the BBC is not infallible. Think what it did to Donald Trump. Think of some of the stories that its fact-checking department has got wrong. And yet we're going to have it thrust down our throats by a government that thinks it knows better than you do how to lead your life. And because it thinks it can tell you to drink water when it's hot, it now thinks it can tell you what you ought to watch on television, and even more sinisterly, it It thinks it can give a bureaucracy run by the left the power, that is to say Ofcom, to take things down even if they're true in case of an emergency. This is trying to use wartime powers to control people's lives in peacetime. It is utterly improper. The last censorship of the press that we had in this country was in 1695, and that was when the Licensing Act regulating the press of 1662 expired and there was no agreement to renew it. And what was important then is that that was pre-publication approval. Since then, there has been no pre-publication approval in this country, except in wartime. It's all been post-publication. And that means that, yes, you can be sued for libel if you say things that are untrue, but if you say things that are true, you almost invariably have a defence against any action that can be brought against you by an individual or by the state. The government wants to change this. It wants to stop people saying things that's true because they think the truth is dangerous. I think this is so crazy that if you try and stop people when there's been a murder, a riot, a terrorist attack, saying who the rioters, the murderers, the terrorists are, you won't find that they all obediently believe the government's line. You will find that they will believe any theory that goes round. It will make people more suspicious of officialdom and more open to believing fake news than they were before the government tried to take this level of control. And that's what it's about. It's, of course, the principle of socialism, that the socialist believes that the interest of the collective means the rights of individuals can be trampled on. The conservative ought always to be opposed to this, and its starting point for us is that individuals have the right to...
Then there are the people. Every year the same thing happens. The first sunny day arrives and thousands of Brits instantly remove every item of clothing they legally can. Parks full of men stripped to the waist, gardens packed with people turning bright red, beer gardens resembling a convention of oversized lobsters. By the third day, half the country looks like it's been seasoned and placed under a grill. And then everyone wonders why they're feeling terrible. Headaches, dizziness, dehydration, sunstroke, sleep deprivation, tempers shorter than a supermarket meal deal. I tell you what, Britain has reached its melting point, and I'm not just talking about the temperature. Years ago, we'd have complained about the heat, put a hat on and carried on. Now, one hot afternoon and the entire country seems to be having an existential crisis. The roads are melting, the rails are struggling, the ice creams are disappearing faster than government promises, and some people's ability to cope appears to have evaporated entirely. We've reached the melting point where the tarmac is soft, the tempers are shorter, and Britain's backbone seems to be getting a bit floppy as well. Mind you, perhaps that's unfair. When you're trying to sleep in a house built to keep heat in, even the toughest Yorkshireman starts negotiating with the weather. At 40 degrees, we're not a nation of lions anymore. We're a nation of sweaty lobsters looking for shade. The heat does funny things to people. Nobody can concentrate, nobody can sleep, everybody gets irritable. It's like the entire nation develops cabin fever outdoors. 40 degrees turns ordinary Britons into confused baked potatoes. But joking aside, there is a serious side to all this. Too many people still treat sun protection as optional, especially when the weather only comes around for a few days. People think, it's Britain, I'll be fine, then spend 6 hours cooking themselves in direct sunlight. Skin damage accumulates, year after year, burn after burn, and the consequences often don't show up until much later. That's the part many people forget. The sun sends the bill years after the holiday is over. So yes, enjoy the weather. Have a barbecue. Sit in the garden. Visit the seaside. But use sunscreen. Drink water. Wear a hat occasionally. Your future self might thank you for it. Because at the current rate, Britain's future medical records will be full of people explaining, well, it was sunny for 3 days in 2026, and I got a bit carried away. Blighty may survive the heat wave, but some of us could do with surviving our own enthusiasm for it as well. Cheerio, and I will see you all in the next video. Do try not to melt.